What do we understand as teachers' activism?
In the current days, Chile has faced a lot of conflicts regarding educational system. Higher quality and equality in educational system have been the motto of these movements. One of the most important actors have been teacher agency and students. Due to students spend the majority of their time in school, we consider important the teacher's role in movements and in the formation of the future citizens of Chile. And it is why this documentary was focused on teacher activism. Well, what is teacher activism? Teacher activism is to be aware of and to get involved in a political movement that represents what you strongly believe in and takes action to make changes. According to Teresa Montaño, a teacher activist attained as they engage in political work. In order to have a more complete documentary, we have conducted an interview which tried to explore the different identity constructions that have been and continue to be a part of Chilean teachers. We consider teacher background analyzing some repercussions of the teacher's job and the docent profession in the society. Moreover, we wanted to analyze the teacher's opinion about educational movements and how they have reacted in front of these situations. The next interview have been conducted by Natalia Cortés.
We are with Patricia Vergara, and she is a language teacher who teaches from 1st to 4th grade at the public school Poeta Neruda en La Granja. She studied Pedagogía en Educación General Básica at Universidad de Santiago de Chile, and she has 11 years of teaching experience.
Colegio Poeta Neruda is a public school located in La Granja district. It gathers students from preschool, science high school, being approximately 800 students. This school have around 60% of their students living in vulnerable conditions, such as drug abuse and trafficking, poverty, violent relationship with their family, absent parents, and so on. Patricia has only worked on public and vulnerable schools.
What are the weaknesses that Chilean education has?
I think the current weaknesses which are present in the Chilean education are closely related to the amount of students per classroom. There are about 40 to 45 students per class, and because of that, for teachers it is very difficult to achieve the same academic level with all students. Besides, parents are not committed to send their kids to the school in the best conditions. Students arrive sleepy, without breakfast, and so. Finally, we don't have enough time to accomplish the content plan required by the educational department.
So, how do you face this weakness?
In order to face these weaknesses, my colleagues and me, the first we do is trying to teach classes dynamically. Thus, students are awake and paying attention to the class. And moreover, we work with parents, giving them a list of healthy food with recommendable times to eat. In this sense, students could arrive at school more active. And that's basically.
So in that sense, do you consider education as a tool to change the students' reality?
Of course, I believe we can break those paradigms in Chilean society, such as delinquency, drugs abuse, and poverty. We can break them because students spend most of their time at school with their classmates and teachers, even more time than what they spend at home with their parents. So we can provide students not only content knowledge, but also values and principles, which in some cases are not provided at home.
Okay, so in that sense, what is your role as a teacher?
Well, My role. I always try to go beyond what is taught. As I said before, it is not just to teach the required content. In my case, I teach or reinforce values such as partnership, mutual respect among students, also the respect they need to have with teachers, because sometimes we have been damaged due to students have been acquired certain aggressive characteristics at home. Consequently, I always try to go beyond. I try to make real changes in their lives.
Okay, so now we are going to change a little bit the focus of these questions. The question is, how was your participation in Penguins Revolution?
Penguin Revolution. Let me think. It happened on 2006, right? If I'm not wrong, that was my first official working year as teacher in a municipal school from Ñuñoa. I taught in third grade. In spite of they were kids, I was part of that revolution as well, because I provide my support to the older students. I remember I helped them to organize themselves when they were occupying the school. I brought them food and care. This caused me several problems with the other teachers and the school staff in general because it wasn't pleasant for them, my help, and the occupying themselves.
And do you think there are any differences between those days and the current days in terms of manifestations, demonstrations?
Of course. I remember 10 years ago, students were worried about reflect on the current problems. They organized reflective times to be informed and to prepare possible solutions. They asked the teacher staff for help and any piece of advice to generate changes. But now I see students, if they effectively are, because through mass media we know there are people who are not students and they just cause damage to the society. For example, the IMBA school suffered considerable damages, so the money they need to improve education will be implemented to reconstruct what they destroyed. So it is a paradox. How we should use the money? Improving or reconstructing?
Okay. Thank you very much for collaborating us. And
nowadays in Chile, it's not something new to see almost every week students demonstrating their disagreement to the government and the reforms on the educational system. But this, in 2006, it was something totally new because there was the Penguin Revolution, where thousands of secondary students went to the street showing their disagreement by different kinds of manifestation. Our interviewer, Patricia, told us that she was completely agree and she supported her students when she was teaching because it was her first year. But now she highlights how disagree she is with the student movement nowadays. Because she states that now the educational movement is just chaos and destruction. Patricia is from the new generation of teachers in Chile who knows how important it is to make the students become aware of their reality. But her thoughts in 2006 and now have changed a lot. Because she used to think that going to the street and showing to the government the disagreement will make a change. But now she realized that the actual change is in the classroom, working with the little students. We could infer that for Patricia, teacher activism is about being aware of students' reality in order to change what the Ministry of Education requires to their actual needs. A teacher who promotes respect and partnership among their students is helping them to construct their project life. To do so, we need in our educational system teachers who will be disposed to make real changes. But what we will understand as real changes? To break a student's paradigm. Be a teacher is the only job where a person can change someone's life. That is why, according to our perception and Patricia's perception, teachers are agents of change, looking for her or his students become agents of change. As the scholar and professor of English at Columbia University, Mark Van Doren, said, "The art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery, and we, as future teachers, are looking for it, and we will not stop, because we believe that teaching and learning are an endless process."
Documented interview. Paula Sáez, Natalia Cortés, Macarena Villarroel.